Hey everyone, and welcome to my booktube channel, Black Goddess Reviews. I'm Anna, and I'm from Australia. I will be reviewing primarily young adult fiction, but I do dabble in pretty much anything, which has led to some quite disturbing places. But I digress. Below you should find links to my Goodreads site and my blog at WordPress. That was shit. Anyway, so this is sort of a hello and like my March book haul, I guess. So this month I only read 5 books that actually count. The first of which was a did not finish, which was, sorry, I have a Kindle, The Bone Witch by Rin Chapeko. Don't know. I was super excited about this book because I was like, ooh, necromancer, you know, seemed pretty awesome. But yeah, I tried to read it 3 times and I just couldn't get past like the excessive descriptions of like what every single person in the room was wearing, like right down to like the embroidery and everything. I was like, it's not really necessary. My other problem was that it really felt like Memoirs of a Geisha, except the geisha are called Asha and they have magical powers, but they're essentially a geisha. They basically work in, you know, live in like an okia kind of thing and go to tea houses to like entertain guests and stuff. And what really did it for me was the fact that at one point this author literally seemed to take like a couple different scenes from Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden and just smushed them together. And I'm like, just because you like smushed a couple scenes together, it doesn't mean it's original writing. You just stole that from another author. I think that's lazy storytelling. I know it's like a new interesting take on like the geisha sort of institution, but still it just felt too much like plagiarism for me, so quit. The next book I read, which this is not actually in order, but the next book I read, which was pretty dismal and did not live up to expectations, was The Bells by Donielle Clayton. Just try and get a picture. It's just going to take forever because my Kindle hates me. Anyway, Bells by, oh, blown out the, yeah. This could have been a phenomenal book, but again, too much description. Like, I felt nauseous, like that it was lacy, frilly pink, you know, well, every description just was cloying, and I was like, please stop, please stop. The first third of the book, literally nothing happens, like at all. I can sum it up in like 3 sentences. The Bells, who are, you know, they don't have magic as arcana, but have the ability, you know, are born colourful where everybody else isn't, and they have this ability in there, you know, to make other people beautiful with their arcana, which is really just magic, as I said. So anyway, this season there are 6 bells, and they have to go to the capital and they perform for the Queen, and one of them will be picked to be the favourite, who will live at the palace and will, you know, be essentially the royal family's like personal belle. So anyway, so that happens, and the lead character, Camellia Beauregard, doesn't get to be the favourite, even though she really, really wants it, and so she gets very upset, and then she goes and works at a tea house. That is literally the first third of the book. That's pretty much all that happens. and I'm not actually kidding. Anyway, so the world building, it was an interesting idea, but there was just too much description, way too much description. The only character that gets a look in, like, at all, that you really learn anything about is Camellia, and in my opinion, she's a pathetic, self-centered, willfully ignorant pain in the ass. But, you know, and that's actually putting it nicely, honestly. She's reactive. Like, she finds that information and then she's like, oh, I'm going to do nothing with that. At one point, somebody's telling her something, you know, important sort of stuff, and she's like, la la la, I don't want to hear it, and runs off. I'm like, okay. No. So basically, no real character building. The plot doesn't even happen till the second half, and it's fairly predictable. Like, oh, you know, I didn't guess that was going to happen. So anyway, that got a 2 stars from me. Although I'm really considering lowering it to 1, because every time I talk about it, I just get angry. Anyway, so the next best book I read this month was Ink, Iron and Glass by Gwendolyn Clare, and I only gave that 2 stars as well, because, I don't know, it just felt really clinical, like the writing. There was no suspense when there should have been suspense. Like, the whole premise is that there's 3 sciences, you know, there's mechanics, alchemy, and scriptology. And scriptology is basically, like, these scientists, or mad people, as they call themselves, have the ability to literally write new worlds, into existence, which sounds amazing. Problem was, they never explain how it's a science. It's actually more like magic. If you can't explain it, not science, in my opinion. And as I said, there was like no suspense when there should have been. Everything was really kind of bland and boring and convenient. That's the other thing. Like, when they were, you know, the characters, I can't even remember their names anymore because I just don't really care. What was it? Elsa. When Elsa and her friends, you know, like, run into a problem, like, oh no, we need to, you know, dig up a grave. Well, actually, we happen to have a machine that will do exactly that. In the lab, just sitting there. Wow, that was convenient. Oh no, a train! It's getting away and everybody's gonna crash and everyone will die. Oh, that's fine. I can just, sorry for the spoiler, step into my little scribed world and just get exactly what I need, and it's done. How is that a bloody challenge? Like, anyway, so by the end, I just didn't actually care about the characters at all. I don't care. I don't care what they're gonna do. So, yeah. Do not recommend either. The next book I read, what was the next book I read? The Tattooist of Us, which, I gave that 3 stars. It is a typical Holocaust sort of story. The main character, Lael, is a Slovakian Jew, and he's one of the first people to be sent to Auschwitz? Not sure. Auschwitz. That's the one. Anyway, within a few weeks he becomes the tattooist, you know, the one that tattoos the numbers on everybody's arms. And it attracted me because here in Australia, which is where he lived after the war with his wife, it was sort of a pretty big deal. And, you know, it's a love story. I was like, oh yeah, sounds cool. It was a bit... difficult to read, only in that it was like third person present tense, I think. So the present tense, it was effective. It made you feel like you were there and it was happening, and it, helped build suspense and stuff, as opposed to being, a really kind of dry history book. But I still find it really kind of difficult to get into that. That being said, it was very well written and it was interesting, although the main character, Lael, it's really about him. Seriously, that guy had like 9 lives and he used them all, and then he had a few more to spare. It was truly amazing. I mean, he used his position to help other people, which, is beautiful when you're in, a Holocaust. So anyway, 3 stars out of 5. It was pretty easy to read. So, yeah. And the final book that I read this month, which, oh my god, it was so good. Anyway, was Children of Blood and Bone by, I'm going to say this wrong, Tomi Adeyemi. Maybe. Hopefully there's a picture somewhere. Anyway, oh my god. I've been waiting for this book for months because it just sounded awesome. It is the basic premise is that there's a girl called Zelly, and she lives with her family, and her people, the Orisha, who are basically racist, difficult thing, but basically it's like in Africa, and they have white hair, and that means that they have the ability to do magic, although they can't do magic until they're 13. Anyway, so 11 years ago, the current king, who's a dick, we'll get back to him, the current king basically committed genocide and killed off every single one of them over the age of 13 who could do magic. But he left the kids, who are now unable to do magic because magic disappeared that day. So basically this is a story of Zelly, her brother Thane, hope I said that right, and the rogue princess Amari, I hope I got that right too, and their quest to bring magic back. The story is told from 3 perspectives, which is one of the things that makes it really kind of cool. Zelly, Amari, and also from the perspective of Inan, don't know, Amari's brother, who is basically hunting them down so he can prevent magic ever coming back. Because why not? And so anyway, you get to see the story from his perspective as well, which is pretty awesome. I honestly cannot recommend it enough. It was so refreshing to have something different, and it was really well written. I just powered through it, like, I don't know, I read it in like 2 days or something. So anyway, that was the month of March, and I hope to see you again if you are scared off by my incessant babbling. Okay, bye!